John likes tech and lives in Indiana, you know. Kevin likes the Dodgers and talks on the radio. John plays games on Xbox and on his Nintendo, while Kevin runs around LA with his mustachio. It's the Lack of Genius podcast, in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast. John is from Indiana.
I am. And Kevin's from California.
We have a pre-show. I'm just gonna plug it right off the bat, and we were talking about cities that are pronounced a certain way that is totally wrong from the actual word. And I almost don't want to spoil it because I want people to go. You have to be a patron to hear the pre-show. I have to share the weirdest one though. I have to. You know the one John told me there's a city in Indiana. Pronounce it for me really quick.
Chili. Okay,
think about that for a sec. A city in Indiana called Chili. It is spelled C-H-I-L-I, chili. It's the word chili, and they pronounce it Chili. I could not stop laughing. We go into many more in the pre-show if you want to hear more of those, but that one was the best one. Hey, John, by the way, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
What are we doing today, John? What do we got going on?
Talking about things that we've collected as kids and now, even. Maybe. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I will admit I'm doing troll dolls. That is something I collected as a kid. I don't think I have a single one left now, and I don't know where they are. My parents don't seem to know where they are. We probably gave them away, which is fine. I guess that's what you do with toys. But yeah, and I don't even remember how this episode came about. It was probably a couple months ago, and I was just like, I think I just thought about troll dolls, and I was like, what did you collect, John? And then what did you say, John? What did you say?
Magic the Gathering.
Yes. The card game. It's a game. I don't know a lot about it. And you still collect, you probably have the same collection you've had since you were what, like 12 years old?
Yes and no. I mean, I've sold some cards in the past, and I've bought many more cards since then. But in general, I do still have a lot of cards that I've had since kind of the beginning.
What first drew you to gather with the Magic?
It's just a fun card game. Kind of D&D-ish in a way. Yeah, no, it's just fun.
Yeah, and I think when we did the D&D episode, we even sort of mentioned in passing, like, you did, like, we should do a Magic one. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But let's not do it right after D&D because then everyone's going to think we're nerds. As I'm talking about collecting troll dolls. And yeah, troll dolls for me, I have no recollection of my first troll doll, what got me into them. All I knew is that my best friend Danny and I, we both collected them like crazy. And it was cool because in my memory, it wasn't like a competitive thing, like who has the most troll dolls. It was like, oh, Danny has a lot of troll dolls and so do I. And this is cool. And look at mine and look at yours. And they had little jewels on their belly and we'd rub them for good luck. And it was just, yeah. So, John, should we get into our new cool thing that we've never done before?
You mean the very special tidy up?
Yes, the very special tidy up.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, we're gonna play the jingle, and something different that you've never experienced on Lack of Genius podcast before is about to happen. Tidy up before we go any further with the show. Tidy up before we go. Fix our mistakes tonight. I wanna get it right. Tidy up. So this is a first ever for the Lack of Genius podcast. Yes,
it is. Yeah.
What did we decide to call? I said special tidy up section.
Yeah, I mean, or a special volume of the log.
We have a guest on mid-episode, and he is not the guest of our episode. He is just here for our special tidy up section. Let's just introduce him first. His name is Jeff McAvoy. Give him a round of applause. Yay.
Hey.
Hey, happy to be here. Can we say special a couple more times?
Yes, we'll call him Special Jeff McAvoy, and he is our special guest as part of our special tidy up section.
Perfect.
Why do we have Jeff on? Jeff is the man. If you've noticed, assuming we did everything right, you should be seeing on whatever platform you're on a brand new Lack of Genius log logo. Jeff McAvoy is the man who created it. And for that, we're very impressed. So first off, Jeff, thank you. You're a wonderful artist and a wonderful human being.
Absolutely, yeah.
Secondly, quickly, let's introduce who you are and what you do. Like, what do you do for a living? Just give us a quick rundown.
Sure, yeah. I've been a graphic designer for quite a while. I work in a marketing position for a nonprofit organization right now. So I get to do some design, some planning, some writing, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I like all the sort of visual creative arts, and design and illustration and a little bit of animation are kind of things that I love to create. So I was super excited when you guys reached out, and love the podcast, and I was really excited to get to work on a logo for you guys.
Yes, that was Jeff's big suggestion, is that we were having too much fun on our initial call with like log puns, and then he realized that the word logo has the word log in it. So we're really calling it our logo. This is our brand new logo that Jeff created, and Jeff is someone who actually he went to Manchester College, which is where John and I met. But
tidy up there. It's now Manchester University.
Oh
University.
Yes, it was Manchester College at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I've known Jeff for a long time, and Jeff has actually been a part of several of my creative projects, including last week we talked about my Halloween EP. If you saw the candy corn trick-or-treating down the street with the mustache, that is Jeff McAvoy's work, man. And I literally have a record-sized printout of it in my kitchen right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dang, I need one of those.
I should send you one, man. I mean, it means a lot to me. We discussed the idea for the logo. We know we knew we wanted something log-related in it, something that says podcast. You want to talk a little bit about how you wound up with what the people are seeing now?
Sure. Yeah, we talked a lot about kind of what the podcast is, how it feels, how it sounds, and I love the idea of leaning into the log image, even though this podcast isn't about logging at all. But like, I really love using the lack of genius acronym. And then I wanted to just make sure it didn't feel like a logging thing. It felt like it would feel like a podcast and have a little bit of a sense of fun to it. So we landed on the microphone shape with the log on the inside. There was a couple fun ideas along the way, but I think this end result is pretty great. I like it a lot. Glad you guys do too.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun brainstorming, including visions of John and I on a log ride going down a log, and various other things that may have some future in our podcast. Totally. But in terms of a logo, we didn't want people to think we were about logging. We didn't want people to think we were about Splash Mountain. Jeff, one thing I'll commend you on is every project I've ever worked with you on, that you have this ability to hear what people are saying and like compute it. It's like it goes into a computer or a blender or something, and it comes out on the page. And every time I've seen the final result, my mind is always pretty blown. Like, wow, he did it, man.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad you recognize I just put things into a blender and then dump them out onto a piece of paper. So,
that's literally how you do it.
that's how it's done. I was super excited when you guys reached out because working on your projects in the past, Kevin, has always been super fun. You've got like great creative ideas, and this gave me the excuse to actually catch up on the podcast because I had been behind and realized like, wow, like this is really awesome. Like it's so fun, and so I was really excited to get to be a part of it in a small way.
Who's your favorite character on the podcast? Is it John or is it Kevin?
Oh, dang.
Because we're not real people. We're just characters on a show.
I was already a Kevin fan, so I think I'm becoming a John fan too.
You're like, well, I already knew I liked him, but now, wow, this guy's very intriguing to me. I see.
Totally.
At least someone likes me now.
One thing we really appreciate about you is that you not only listened to the podcast before you started working with us, but you've continued to listen. You signed up to be a patron, which we really appreciate. That really is a really sweet way to show support. What's a good way for people to find you? I know I've followed you on Instagram when I used to be on Instagram, and you were a fantastic follow because you shared a lot of your art and your projects as you were developing them. Yeah,
Instagram probably is the best way. I think that's my most active channel and where I post somewhat regularly, and it's definitely dedicated to art and design and stuff like that. So my Instagram is Jeff A. McAvoy, which is MCAVOY. And if anybody would like to check me out and reach out, I'm interested in doing other work as well, or just chatting about art and design.
Yeah, and we'll be sure to post that on various posts on socials and on this episode. Awesome. We'll put it in the show notes. I really couldn't recommend someone higher than I recommend Jeff for any work. He's just he's very easy to work with. He's very open to ideas, and that for me personally, that's what I look for when I'm working on creative projects. So you got 1 and then 2 thumbs up. If you were seeing me right now, you'd see that both of them are in the air right now.
Both of mine are too.
Yeah, we got 4
All right,
thumbs
well, hey,
up.
mine too. Why not?
6 of them.
A question I got for you, Jeff, is
Yeah.
would you want to come on and actually be a guest and ask us questions about something?
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Like what it's like to be special, maybe? You could do
Yeah. What it's like to be a special guest on the Lack of Genius podcast.
Yeah. I almost want to ask you like logging questions or something that you hopefully neither of you know about, but
that actually, you may have just sparked an idea. That would be hilarious. We can really prove that we're not a logging podcast.
that's true.
Right?
Yes.
We definitely need to try to figure out how to make a log.
Or are you talking about an actual...
Yeah.
No, like a journal. A log journal.
yes.
A log.
A log.
A log book.
We talk about this log that we have that keeps all of our records. We have nothing written down. I don't.
No.
But eventually we'll actually have a log. It's metaphorical for now. Well, how tidy do we feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Are we feeling pretty tidied up in terms of this special tidy up section?
I think so. Unless Jeff says otherwise.
It feels pretty special to me, so I think it's good.
Well, that's a special Jeff McAvoy who unveiled our special logo on this special tidy up section. Thanks for coming on with us, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to be here.
You want to just throw us to quiz time here, Jeff?
All right, yeah, let's jump into the quiz.
It's time to take a quiz or two. Like a Genius podcast doing this for you. You may fail, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time. Don't really want this quiz to be tough. I just want to pass one cause I failed enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby, it's quiz time.
That was very special.
It was.
First and foremost.
Yes.
And Jeff is no longer here. I know you've been hearing his voice along with us. We kicked him off of the call. But thank you to Jeff again for the logo, for coming on our podcast, for being both of our friends now. He's been a friend of mine for many years. I mean, going back to like teenage years. He was originally from Northern California, and we would go to like church events together. And he's a great dude, so really appreciated having him on.
Yeah.
And as he said, this is quiz time.
It is.
That was the first time somebody bounced it, so we're ready to jump in, man. Should we just go for it?
I think so.
You were going to ask the first question, so we're about to learn some stuff about Magic the Gathering. And before, again, you are now winning the grand total, right?
I think I'm up by 1.
You're up by 1, yeah. We're kind of, I think it's 9-8 maybe, but regardless, John is up by 1. I'm going to get you today.
We'll see.
Let's find out.
So Magic the Gathering was released in what year? Like, when did it first come out? 1993, 1986, 1999, or 1974?
Wow. There are 2 90s choices on here, which is interesting to me. Yeah, I don't really know. I will say my experience with Magic is I never owned a Magic card, but I do remember in, I guess, sort of middle school, high schoolish for me, that Magic was kind of a big deal. And that would have been, late 90s.
Right.
So 1999 definitely seems too late. I'm tempted to choose 93. John, why do I stress so much over these things?
I don't know.
It is 93. I guess that's 6 years to sort of develop and become a big deal, or doesn't even? I'm going to choose 93 because I keep talking about it. So I'm going to lock in 93.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
No, it came out in 93. I mean, and there's been games. I know that there was a video game that I used to play when I was younger that came out in 97. So it took off pretty quick.
Oh, there was a Magic the Gathering video game.
Yeah, and there still is, actually. There's different variations of it. The current one is called Arena, and you can just play against other people online. There's tournaments and stuff that have been happening almost since the beginning. Kind of like poker tournaments, like World Poker Tour and stuff. There's Magic Pro Tours.
That's crazy.
And last year with COVID and everything, they did it all in Arena.
All in the video game.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's a good way to keep them involved and still be in the universe.
Yep.
You may have questions. You may, if I'm spoiling a question, then don't answer this now. But could you give a quick explanation to me and to the audience, like how Magic is played? Like, what could you compare it to give us like something to relate to on what it's like?
Pokemon came out after. There are similarities between Pokemon and Magic. But essentially, you have a deck of cards. Each person, in general, has their own deck, puts whatever cards they want into that deck. And then you draw 7 cards to begin with, and that's your starting hand. And then based off the cards that you get and what you've put in the deck, there is definitely a bit of luck in it. Because there are lands or mana that you need in order to be able to play certain card. Each card requires a certain amount of mana be able to play.
So you might not even be able to play a card that's in your hand, essentially.
Right. You may have to
Yeah.
wait 5-10 turns to be able to play a card.
Oh, wow. Got
and
it.
so
Okay.
there is luck to it, and you know what cards you grab because you shuffle the cards beforehand. But then there's also some skill in knowing what's in the deck and so on.
It's funny because really, if you think about it, kind of any game is like that. There's elements of luck and there's elements of strategy. It's not all luck because you have to know what to play. Very cool, man. All right, so 1993, Magic was released. So I'm 1 for 1. You want your first troll question here, John?
Sure.
What did Trolls creator Thomas Dam originally call his dolls? And actually, he's what's it called? When you're from Denmark? Danish. Dam is, I think, actually pronounced Dom. Thomas Dom, but I like saying Dam better. So, what did Trolls creator Thomas Dam originally call his dolls? Were they fortune trolls, adventure trolls, good luck trolls, or hairy trolls?
For some reason, I am feeling between the last two, the good luck trolls and the hairy trolls.
Those trolls are hairy, aren't they?
They are. I mean, some hairier than others, but I'm going to go with the good luck trolls.
You're going to lock in good luck trolls, John?
Yep.
That is correct. Nice job. Look at us both 1 for 1. Yeah, he called them good luck trolls. The model that I know really well is the troll doll with the gem on it. That wasn't part of the original design. In fact, we'll get more into this, but Thomas Dam's company, that was made by an entirely different company altogether. Thomas Dam, he called these good luck trolls. He started just carving wooden trolls for his children. And then, word caught on, people liked them. He started selling them door to door locally, and then they just blew up and he had to start mass producing them. His take on it was that trolls are typically a creature in mythology. They're ugly. And so his thought was to make these sort of comically looking ugly dolls. And there's a quote that I don't have exactly in front of me, but he said something along the lines of, they're so ugly that you just have to laugh at them, and anyone who's laughing will have good luck. Something along those lines. So he called them his good luck trolls. They were something just to put a smile on your face.
Okay.
And then the reason I know it's Dom and not Dam is because he eventually created a toy company, and it was called Damn Things, and the dolls actually became known as Damn Dolls. So I think he kind of knew the irony of that name.
Okay. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's see how we do.
True or false? Magic was the first trading card game.
Interesting. The first trick. Okay, so I did know that it was before Pokemon. So, because I think Pokemon's a trading card game. Was Magic the first? That's very interesting. It makes, it sort of makes me think about like superhero cards, right? Like X-Men cards, Marvel cards. Those weren't necessarily, and I don't know this for a fact. This is what I'm debating now. Was there a game that was made with those? I kind of think not. I kind of think you just collected those. I'm going to say true. Like it started the trend.
As far as I can tell, you're correct.
All right. No you can't find anything else before it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and say what you want about Wikipedia. It is, in general, it's a good source of information. And per Wikipedia, it is the first trading card game is Magic. So.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. That would make sense. And then, Pokemon, and I'm sure there's a bunch other now kind of took that mold and ran
Pokemon,
with it.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of trading card games now.
By the way, I don't know if you can relate to this, John, but this is, I guess, aging us, though I'll proudly say I'm 36 years old. Wikipedia, when I was in college, was kind of just becoming a thing.
Right.
Like it was just, and I remember because I would use it in like research papers and things like that. And it wasn't yet a thing that was like, no, Wikipedia is not a source. You have to, now you can trace back where their source was, and obviously,
right.
But I remember I would straight up put in like a bibliography, like just a Wikipedia link. And I don't think you can do that these days.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I feel fortunate that I was in the birth time of Wikipedia. So, right. Kids, there was a time before Wikipedia. They were encyclopedia. In fact, that is where the word, yeah. Do you think kids don't know that? They probably don't.
I don't know, but there was also a time for us before Google.
We know before Google. Yeah, we know before the internet, quite frankly. I mean, sure, it existed, but we know before Google, we know before email, before instant messaging. I will say, we've never talked about this, but we are in that wheelhouse, those of us who are in this sort of 30, 40-year-old age range. We had a childhood that included pre-internet and post-internet.
Right.
We're literally the only generation that is going to have that distinction. I mean, there's going to be new technologies that come out that people will experience, but That's a pretty significant one in human time. Yeah. I feel pretty fortunate that I know what it's like to go outside and play. I'll say that. And I used to play with my troll dolls outside. I don't know if that's true. Let's go to number 2 on trolls. I'm 2 for 2. You're 1 for 1. We were speaking about their hairy trolls. Which of the following is not one of the original hair colors of Thomas Dam's trolls? So there were 3 colors that he made them in. One is not an actual color that they were made in. Is it black, white, green, or orange?
I remember green and orange. I'm just not sure on black or white.
Yeah.
I feel like black, because white would still stand out from when he was doing like the wood ones and stuff, where black, I think, would kind of get muddled with the wood and everything. Yeah. So I'm going to say black is not one of the hair colors.
You're choosing black, locking it in?
Yep.
John, that's incorrect. Sorry. Yeah, your logic actually does make sense, but green was not one of the original colors. So when he first made them, there were only 3 colors. They were black, white, and orange. And you're right. I think, when I envision a troll doll, I don't see black hair immediately because they're sort of known for their eccentric color. But originally, I don't think that was sort of the thought of Thomas Dam, who created them. As I kind of told you, he started once he started his company and kind of started growing. They actually use sheep wool. Now they use synthetic hair or whatever. He actually used sheep wool, and it was more like, you could Google these dolls. They're kind of creepy. They were more like matted, like they were curly. There was still weird hair, but it wasn't the straight up hair that we're used to seeing.
Right.
He would get them from sheep. And one year he had 1964, the demand was so high for troll dolls that he took Iceland's entire wool harvest for the year to produce these troll dolls. And he just got them and he dyed them black. And I don't even know if he dyed them white or if they stayed white because they were, I guess sheep can be black too. Maybe that's why. I didn't research this, but maybe. Anyways, yes, black, white, and orange. There's your fun trivia knowledge for the day. Those are the 3 original colors of troll doll hair.
Cool. And speaking of colors, my next question deals with colors.
Look at us go, John.
In general, there are a certain number of main colors in Magic. How many of them are there? 3, 4, 5, or 6?
Wow. Yeah, I have no idea. I do have a vague vision of colors. I don't know if this is one, but I'm seeing purple. The only logic or strategy I can use is just sort of what is a universal kind of number for categories of things.
Right.
3 comes to mind. Like 3 is such a universal number, but it does not sound like enough for this game. I think there's got to. I'm going to choose 4. I'm just going to say 4. I don't know. I can't really think of any good reason to or not to.
Incorrect. It is, in fact, 5.
5, okay, all right.
And if you were paying attention to the social stuff that you had made for me to put up.
I wasn't. Yeah. Oh, there's the 5 colors on there. It's like a little, and John's holding up a magic card right now. Can you hold it? What are the colors? Yellow, green?
It's white, green, red, black, and blue. And each color ties with an element and a style of play as well.
Is this an element that like blue is water or
blue is mainly water or islands as the land. Black is swamps. Black tends to be dealing more with death and necromancy and all that stuff.
Ooh, necromancy.
Yeah. Red is fire and mountains. Green is forest and rejuvenation. And then white is the plains, and it's kind of the protection and stuff like that.
Sure sounds like Captain Planet stuff to me, man.
It kind of is.
Captain Planet, there's something we may need to dig into also. If you don't know Captain Planet, they had these little rings and the colors, and they represented just the things that John described. Fire, earth, heart, wind, and something else. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, I am very impressed with us that we did back-to-back color questions. Right. We couldn't have planned that. And this is why we're just, what do they call it? Simpatico. We're just John, you and I are just on the same wavelength. Score-wise, I'm now 2 for 3. You're 1 for 2 going into number 3 on Troll Dolls here. Oh, this one has a visual element.
It does.
Here's the question. Which of the following themed troll doll did Kevin actually own? And there's a picture of 4 troll dolls. I got Punk Rock Troll, Orchestra Troll, Lil Slugger Troll, and Grillin Troll. All names that I made up. This is just how I describe them. So I owned one of these. Which one was it?
Well, I'm guessing the little slugger troll, just because of how much you like baseball and everything. I could see your parents getting that for you.
What does he look like? What is he?
He's wearing a baseball uniform, holding a bat, essentially.
And his shirt says Little Slugger.
It does. Yeah. And so I could see them getting that for you. But at the same time, I could also see you buying that for yourself, too. But Punk Rock Troll is probably my second option. And, he's got a vest on, tie-dyed hair, and a guitar.
Uh-huh.
But it's the Little Slugger Troll, I think, that's what
That's your choice?
With. Yep.
You're locking it in?
Mm-hmm.
That is incorrect. It was your second option,
Yep.
Punk Rock Troll. The other one, Orchestra Troll, is just a little troll dressed in a suit and he's got a violin. And then Grillin' Troll he's got an apron on and two weenies on a roaster. Punk Rock Troll was my favorite troll. Like when I think about my troll collection, there are two that come to mind. One is this just a kind of plain ordinary green-haired one that I think in my imagination was sort of representative of me. So he was kind of my favorite one. And and then there was Punk Rock Troll. And yeah, he's got a mohawk. It's a blue mohawk. And then the sides of his hair are like tie-dyed. And he's got a vest and a guitar. And he's even got makeup, like little makeup streaks on his face. I remember I used to I think I put gel in the mohawk at times. Like I was obsessed with it. And I remember as a kid, I don't even know where this fascination came from, but I always wanted a mohawk. I always thought it would be cool to have an earring. This one doesn't, but there was something about sort of this punk rock and roll lifestyle that I always was drawn to. So I did have mohawks at various times in my lives, but never for long periods of time. It would be, I would shave my head and we'd leave a mohawk for a day or two or whatever. But man, I wish if I could have any troll doll right now, it would be the punk rock one. I wish I could have that one back. All right, John. So sorry, you're now 1 for 3, and we can move into number 4 for Magic, where I'm 2 for 3.
Yep. The game was created by a guy by the name of Richard Garfield, and he created it while he was working on his doctorate. What degree or what field of study was that in?
Interesting. So he has a doctorate in one of these 4 fields.
Oh, I don't know if he finished it.
Okay, got it. He was working on it.
Right.
Okay, and what are they?
English, history, art, or math.
And which one's the right answer?
You'll have to wait and see.
God, I thought you were going to give it to me.
No.
I was trying to catch you by surprise. Yeah, interesting. Gosh, English, history, art, math. To me, math is kind of the one that jumps out as fits in the least, which almost makes me want to pick it, right? When I think about Magic, I can see an art element, right? I can sort of see a history element just because of it's got a battle element to it. And English, I mean, kind of, it doesn't seem far off, and I'm not exactly sure why. It seems like it could fit also. But there's part of me that feels like art is too obvious. Because my guess would be that as the creator of the game, he probably also, I would guess he constructed the characters, probably drew the characters, probably created them. So I would think he is an artist. But do I want to choose that he was in an art? I'm going to choose math. Let's go. Let's jump off the boat and choose math. I'm choosing it.
Correct.
Yeah.
he was working on his doctorate for combinatorial mathematics.
You just made that word up.
Nope.
Mathematics. I've never heard that word. No, I'm just joking. Like computatorial?
Nope. Combinatorial or combinatorics.
Oh, like combinations?
It's concerned with counting. So yeah.
Oh.
Finite structures, logic.
Count Dracula, is he a countunatorian? This should just be a podcast of me trying to say that word all day.
It's not exactly an easy word to say, but yeah, math.
But that was he literally had a very specific degree in this weird word that I've never heard in my life.
Combinatorial mathematics. Yeah.
You have to be very intelligent to be majoring in a word that I would guess the general public doesn't even know exists as a word.
Yeah, probably.
So he had a very mathematical brain, and do you think would you say that there is a mathematical element to Magic?
Oh, there definitely is. Ratios between, the lands and the other cards, because normally in most games your deck can't have more than 60 cards. And so you got to keep if you run out of cards, the game's over, you lose.
Oh, it's like cricket. Cricket, same way. Once all your players are off the field, game's over.
Yeah, kind of. and so, you got to decide what ratio you want of land to your other cards.
Oh,
You got to think about, okay, you can't just have all your cards require, 6 mana, because then you got to wait at least a minimum of 6 turns if you have 6 lands in your hand to be able to even play a card. So there's a lot of math and, even statistics comes into it,
Wow.
So
I got that one correct. I'm now 3 for 4.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. That's amazing. All right, let's see if you can gain some ground here. You're 1 for 3 going into number 4 on Troll Dolls. Number 4 is a true or false question. DreamWorks Animation currently owns the worldwide rights to the image and use of trolls. Is that true or is that false?
I'm going to say false, but in the fact that they own the rights for the movies or TV shows. So it's a little bit more narrow than what you wrote.
Gotcha. So you're going to choose false.
Yep.
That is incorrect. Sorry, I hit that buzzer a little soon. But yeah, that's incorrect. That is pretty decent logic, because that's part of why I put this question in, because it is weird to think that a movie animation studio literally owns the rights to all of Trolls imaging. Troll Dolls went through a lot of weird stuff in terms of their copyright. Thomas Dam had made some mistake when he first made them and didn't get the copyright exactly right. And so all these knockoff trolls started popping up and people were making all kinds of profit off of this troll image. And eventually, I guess laws changed in the mid-90s. And by this time, Thomas Dam had already passed away, but his company eventually did win the worldwide rights to Troll Dolls. And so it is very strange, because my understanding, it was really hard to research this, but the trolls that at least I know and love from the 90s, I remember calling them treasure trolls. They had little gems on them, and I don't believe that has anything to do with Thomas Dam or the creator, other than he created the image. I believe those were made by Russ Toys. All kinds of companies made Troll Dolls. So the Dam company, once they got the worldwide rights, several years later, they eventually sold the rights to DreamWorks Animation. And then, we know that they made the Trolls movies, and Justin Timberlake wrote a hit song called Can't Stop the Feeling that is a freaking catchy as heck song. So now I think there's 2 movies. They've worked with Hasbro to release a new line of Troll Dolls. They don't look like the ones from the 90s that we remember. They look more like the movie. But I do think in the movies they've stayed true to some of the characters will have gems, and their bare butts are still show, which is one of my favorite things about Troll Dolls, because they had little butts and it was like, look at their butt. So there you go. Yeah, DreamWorks Animation.
Okay.
Well, let's do it. I think I just won the episode, by the way.
You did.
All right. Well, let's see if I can do a 4 for 5 here.
Yeah. So earlier I brought up the fact that, there are actual tournaments and stuff. It used to be called the World Pro Tour. A few years ago, they changed the name of it to Mythic Championship. But essentially, you have to work your way into it. You have to win other events to be able to make it to the Mythic Championship.
Oh, yeah. It kind of sounds like the cornhole, where you have to play in a bunch.
Yeah. So the question here is, how much money could you potentially win? If you win the entire thing, how much could you win? 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, or 40,000?
Ooh, mama, that's a lot of money. I'm gonna eliminate 5,000 right off the bat. I'm gonna assume that you're not gonna tease us with a low number and make that it. Maybe you did, because maybe you're trying to throw us off. It is kind of a few episodes ago, I think we were in the same position where I kind of had, I could get this one wrong and I'd still win. So because of that, I'm not going to overthink too much. I think it's the biggest one. I'm going to say you could win up to 40 grand in this Mythic Championship. Let's lock it in. 40,000.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, John.
It is, yeah. You may have to travel and stuff, and you have expenses, but yeah, you could win up to 40,000. It's normally $250,000 prize pot for the whole thing.
So first prize would be 40,000, but then there's consolation cash prizes. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and if you win in a Mythic Championship, then there's normally something for the people that win those after. And you could actually get sponsorships and get, travel expenses paid, and you could make a living.
It's very lucrative.
It is.
Is this a worldwide competition? Is Magic a worldwide game?
It is a worldwide thing. I mean, it started off only being printed in English, but now it gets printed in Japanese and Chinese, Spanish. I have some old cards that I think are in Italian.
That's very neat. That's very neat. Yeah, that is one of the cool things I'm learning through this podcast and just kind of in general. But like, you could kind of turn anything into a lucrative profession, but you have to be like, it's not necessarily a path you should aspire to go down. It's like, oh, I'm really good at this game. Maybe I should look into these competitions.
Right.
What if the dude, what was his name? Birchfield. What was the best cornhole player in the world? Do you remember?
I don't.
It was something Birchfield. What if he's also like the greatest Magic player in the world? And he's also, that's just how he goes around winning all these obscure tournaments. All right, John, you ready to wrap up the troll doll question?
Yeah.
There's a picture of a very strange looking woman in front of a bunch of troll dolls. This quiz is up at lackofgenius.com. That woman is the world record holder for the largest collection of troll dolls, Sherry Groom. And she has her collection on display at a museum. What is the name of this museum? Is it Stroll with Trolls, Troll Goals, Whole Lot of Trolls, or the Troll Hole?
I'm going to just go with the troll hole. Because I figured trolls live in holes.
Okay, good logic. Yep.
So, I mean, it's not like I can win, so
you might as well just choose it and see what happens?
Yep.
All right, Troll Hole, that is correct. The Troll Hole, yeah, this is a museum. It's the largest display of troll dolls anywhere. It's in Alliance, Ohio, not far. So maybe when I go visit you when we play hide and seek, we can take a road trip down to Ohio, over to Ohio.
Well, it depends on where in Ohio. We could be going up to Ohio, down to Ohio, over.
We'll do all of the above and get to Alliance. 25,000 troll-related items, including 8,000 unique troll dolls specifically. I was looking at some pictures of this. So like, yeah, there's all the trolls that we know and love, the colorful hair and whatnot. But there's also like troll history and ugly trolls and like actually going into the history of what trolls are. Even though I have 0 troll dolls now, it actually would be very cool to walk into this museum and just see and maybe they let you pet some hair. I don't know.
Who knows?
Alliance, Ohio, if you want to get your troll doll museum troll hole action on. All right, John. Well, that's you got that one right. So you ended up 2 for 5. I ended up 4 for 5, and we're all tied up.
We are.
And I just took a peek at the calendar. I think we were doing guilty pleasure TV shows next week.
I think so.
That's what we have on the calendar. We're going to promote that for now, and maybe we should have planned that out before. We'd been talking about doing this guilty pleasure TV show. I think it's going to be better as a surprise because I think John's guilty pleasure show is a pretty good one that I've never watched. But yeah, and then just a thank you to Jeff again for coming on today with us. That was super cool to have our first non-guest guest and our very special tidy up section with special Jeff McAvoy. So again, reach out to him on his Instagram, Jeff A. McAvoy, I believe it was. All right, John. Well, this was a fun episode.
It was.
Always love hopping on here with you. This is a part of my week I always look forward to.
Me too.
So thanks for being a part of it with me, and thanks to the audience. Thanks to you for listening. We don't exist without you, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the Lack of Genius podcast in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast.
Combinatorial.
Computatorial?
Combinatorial. Combinatorics.
Count Dracula, is he a Countinatorian?